and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica. Today we're going to be finishing off our Liberty Stitch Along. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this Liberty Stitch Along. I've seen a lot of your finishes along the way. Today we are going to be finishing off ours, and here is what mine is going to be looking like. It is this cute little hanging decor piece that I got from Hobby Lobby. I will put information on what I can below. I also put this in our Facebook group for our Liberty Stitch Along. So this is really easy to finish, but I'm going to go ahead and do it here on video for you guys so you can see how to finish it off. Don't forget to share your finishes using the hashtag Liberty SAL, and make sure you share them in our Facebook group. I will be picking one winner off that hashtag. They're going to be winning a fun patriotic gift basket, which also includes this finishing piece and some ribbons, so you can finish off yours like mine if you want, or you can use it for something else. All right, let's go ahead and dive right in, and I'll show you how we're going to finish off the Liberty Stitch Along. All right, so for today's tutorial, you're going to need your stitching, of course, and I finished our Liberty Stitch Along. If you haven't been stitching along, you can get this pattern in my shop. Our Stitch Along is coming to a close as the time that this video is airing, but you can, of course, stitch it at any time you like. This one's really fun, and it was a stitch along that went with my Liberty quilt pattern. So you'll want your stitching. You're also going to need a piece of coordinating fabric. So I have this really cute fabric. I think it's Minnick and Simpson. I'll put them on the screen if I'm incorrect. And then I also have a piece of quilt batting. This is just regular quilt batting that I use in my quilts, just a scrap. So I've got those things. And then I also have my peel and stick board, and I cut mine in 2 different sizes. And the pattern has the instructions on what size to cut these. And I actually didn't have, this is not the kind I normally use. I had to go to Joann and buy some because I was out, so I just have this mounting board from Joann. It is still peel and stick, it's okay. So I've got those 2 pieces. And then I also found this really fun thing from Hobby Lobby. It's just a little hanger. So it looks like this. You could paint it if you don't want the flag to show through, but it was a good size for our Liberty. And I'll show you up close the tag so you can screenshot it if you want. This was in their seasonal section, so I don't know that it had like a number on it. But if you want something similar, this is 6 by 12. I think it's going to be a great size for today's project. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. I also have some ribbon. I have a couple different ones that I think I'm going to kind of play around with. And when I'm finishing, I usually just do a little bit of experimenting to see what's going to look best. So I might not end up using all this. And then I also have my hot glue gun here heating up. This is a hot glue gun I got off Amazon, and I will link it below. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with our stitching first. So I'm going to get my smaller sticky board. I'm going to put my fabric and my larger sticky board off to the side. I'm going to use my batting, my stitching, and my smaller piece of sticky board. And batting has 2 sides. So this side kind of has divots in the, this side has like little bumps, and I'm going to put the bumps down so that they aren't like poking up and making my stitching look bumpy. I did trim down my sticky board with an old rotary blade and my acrylic ruler that I use for quilting. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is just peel off the sticky portion of my sticky board. And then I'm going to place my batting on top. And like I said, I'm putting those little lumps down. And I'm just going to stick that on there like that. And then now I can trim it off. And you can use scissors if you want. I'm just going to use my rotary trimmer and just trim along this edge. There we go. All right, so now that's ready. And now we're going to take our stitching and we're going to place that onto our board, our prepared board. And I can kind of see it through there. I don't know if you can on camera, but I'm just going to try to center it as good as I can. And that looks okay that way. Let's check this way. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to do my best to flip it over without moving it. And the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and tack down these sides with my hot glue, the corners I mean. I'm just putting a dab on there. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is just glue down our sides. So I'm just putting a bead of glue there. And I'm going to go ahead and just fold in these corners. And try not to burn myself. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing here. And you can kind of pinch these corners a little bit. Okay, so here is what the back of our piece looks like, and it's not super pretty, but that's okay because you're never going to see that part when you turn it over. You've got a cute stitched piece, and you can squeeze those corners down if you want a little bit. You can even add a little bit more glue if you want. Work those corners in. Okay, so there's our stitching piece. So we can set this aside, and now we're going to do basically the same thing to our fabric piece. This one's going to be a little bit easier because that stitching can be kind of difficult. All right, so this I'm just going to lay down, and I'm going to place this right side down on top of it, centering it as good as I can, and then just press it. And before I do anything else, I will flip it over and just make sure this front side is smooth. Just make sure you don't have any crinkles or whatever. And then same deal, I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the corners and just press up those corners first. And yes, this is hot on my fingers, so if you have those little, I think they're little rubber thimbles, you could use those. I just kind of suffer through the pain. So there we go. Okay, and then same deal, we're just going to run some glue across there. And now one thing I've learned with the fabric side, it actually kind of works if you hold it like this and then press it down. Not always, and I did get a little bit of glue on my table. I mean, it picks right off, but sometimes it's kind of a nicer or an easier way to do that. This doesn't so much work with the stitching because it's just a thicker material, but it does work with the fabric a little bit. You can also just do it this way as well. But I find that I burn myself a little bit less when I just grab it like this and fold. Okay, there we go. Done. Super easy. Now all we have to do is glue our stitching to our background, just like that. And I just take a look at it before I do it, make sure it looks good. If you wanted to add any ribbon accents around here, like if you have any rickrack or something, now would be the time to do that. I'm not going to add that onto this one. I think I'm just going to have enough stuff going on as it is, like this. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. Oh, I might need another glue stick. All right, grabbed a couple. Probably only need one. By the way, if you're going to get yourself a glue gun, make sure you get a nice heavy duty one. Don't get one of those little teeny tiny ones. They just aren't worth it. Okay, so that's our piece ready to go. Now if you wanted, you could totally paint the front of this a different color. I'm actually going to go ahead and leave it because it's kind of got that red, white, and blue vibe going. I'm also going to put some bows over here on the side. So I've got this thicker ribbon and I've got a skinnier ribbon, and I'm going to show you how to tie a bow. Now, I'm definitely not the best at this, so, okay. All right, so I have cut off my ribbon. I'm going to work with about a yard of ribbon. That's just gonna give me plenty of leeway, and then I can trim it off later. So you're gonna start off by giving yourself a tail, and we're gonna be working around our first 2 fingers. If you want a bigger bow, you could do it like this. So we're just gonna go over your first finger, in between and over your second finger, in between again and over your first finger, and then around the bottom and over the top. Okay, and now we're going to take this one and we're going to go down in between your first two fingers, kind of over the top of everything. Like that, and that's going to give you this little loop. You're going to come back up and go through that loop. And you can replay this as many times as you want. You can also redo this as many times as you want until you're happy with your bow. And you're kind of just going to mess with it until your bow center gets tighter and tighter, and you got it to kind of where you want it. And then you can slide it off your fingers. And then you can mess with your bow a little bit. Straighten out these, straighten out this back piece. This one has a little bit of wire on it. It's not like a really hard wire, but it is a little bit positionable. And then there you go, you have an adorable little bow. And I think what I'm gonna do is maybe put that up here on the top corner, or the other thing I was thinking is maybe putting it on the side like this. And then I was also thinking I might put a secondary bow on there. I haven't decided yet. So I'm not going to cut this yet because I just want to have some ability to mess with it. So we'll set that one aside. I'm going to show you one more time. We're going to do the skinnier one because it might be a little bit easier for you to see. So I'm going to give myself a tail and go over my first finger, in between and over my second, in between and over my first, and then around the bottom and over the top. Then we're going to take this and go in between, over the top and in between our fingers to create this little loop right here. We're going to come back up and go through that loop and pull. And you can just pull till you have it where you want it. And then when you pull them off, voila, you've got a cute little bow, and you just fiddle with it. And if you don't like it, just do it again. You know, we didn't cut anything or anything, so you can mess with this as much as you want till you get it looking how you like it. And like I said, if you're not satisfied with it, make it again. Okay, so here's our two bows. Now we just need to figure out how we want to do this. So it might be kind of cute having a bow across the top up here and another one on top of it. So you've got two little bows like that. So fold your ribbon in half, trim, and then again we're going to just fold this in half and trim. Okay, and I just need to glue those ribbons down and we're done. Oh, I need to glue down my piece. You could do magnets on the back of here if you wanted. I'm not going to because I don't think I'll make something else that's this exact same size. So there we go. And there is our finished Liberty piece. And now we can display this in our home for July. So here's how my piece ended up. I love it. I think it's really cute. I also like that I have this option to hang it. I may or may not hang it. A lot of times I'll just set it somewhere, or if you have one of those like little old easels or something like that, it's a really fun way to display your pieces as well. So anyways, here's how I finished off mine. I can't wait to see how you guys are going to be finishing yours. Don't forget to post your progress and your finishes on our Facebook group, and make sure you use the hashtag LibertySAL so I can see your posts. I'm going to be picking one winner from that to receive a fun patriotic gift basket. And the gift basket does include this finishing piece and some fun cross-stitchy things. So that's going to be it for our Liberty Stitch Along. I hope you guys enjoyed it and had a lot of fun making this adorable piece for our Independence season coming up. And thank you so much for stitching along with me. If you enjoyed our finishing video and our stitch along, make sure to thumbs up this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can also hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any upcoming fun. that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.